RJP 993. What really amazes me is how anybody can say this is all my fault. It's not mine. I don't make people buy them. You know, somebody asks you to do something like that. You know, well, she's not stopping them from doing it, so. There's a black fat woman who just walked over there talking on the phone. When I was coming here during the day before looking for a job back last year or something, there was a big fat black woman. Used to always come walking up to the door talking on the phone. And if I didn't go in, she stopped. She never had any contact with me. But she's trying to match when I was going in the library. I mean, I go through this everywhere I go. It's ridiculous. Well, how do you know that? Well, one thing, they talk overly loudly when they're doing that, like she is now. And they'll wait till I go in the library and then walk in behind me. I mean, in the other nights, you know, like that guy that was out here, I parked on this side of the parking lot. He walked over here. If I parked on that side, he walked over there. He paced back and forth. And if I moved my vehicle, 2.5 hours I went through that. He even drove away and came back. And as soon as I came back and moved to the other side of the parking lot, he started walking over there. You know, 2.5 hours he stood out in front of the library on the phone doing that. I'm being forced to submit to supervision. This is it. All you're doing is faking supervision. You're not supervising me and my son. Whoever you are, you've never spent a dime on us, and you're not responsible for us. Anything I do or don't do is my choice and mine alone. Anything my son does, he does with my permission or without me giving him permission to do the things he wants. And I'm the one who foots the bill. If we don't have the money for the rent, it's because I didn't have it to pay. That's it. Nobody's paying any money for us. You know, nobody's spending a dime on us, and nobody's telling us what to do. You can't supervise people without having contact with them and just walking into a building when they're walking in and playing some bullshit game with a cell phone and a snitch you got to walk in at that time. Sorry, that doesn't count. It's not even close. That's faking supervision. That is not in any way have anything to do with actually supervising somebody. I've worked in classrooms for 6 years, and if I tried to supervise my students without having contact with them, you know, I'm talking about verbal or nonverbal, there's no way that would even be possible. You can't supervise people without communicating with them or without their knowledge. That is a delusional assertion, and it's nothing but dishonesty. There goes Edward, to say that that you're supervising because you had your snitch follow them where they were going with a cell phone where you were sitting on the other end of the line. And Edward's making him a phone call. And just listening to your snitch rattle on about something. And they weren't really saying anything. All you're doing, I think what they're doing is they're just playing a recording. Is all they're doing. And then the snitch is trying to act theater performance like they're just doing nothing. and just having, and they're just making up stuff and saying whatever's on the top of their head. If you watch that video I have of that guy who did that to us, me that other night for 2.5 hours, you say he's stream of consciousness. He's just making up stuff to talk about and say it very loudly. She went over there behind that pillar. So if you pull the video from the circle drive, it's going to look like she already went in the library. You know, that's it. They're faking it. And somebody's getting a paycheck for it, for sucking the blood out of an innocent woman and child. That's what it is. She's still over there. I can see her chest area. She's still on the phone. And she's just sitting there on the bench, and I can watch and see what happens. If I get up and go in the library, she's going to walk in behind me.